is that?
For me, it was always something I wanted to do growing up.
He just was very always open to it. And so he always tells me, he was like, yeah, that was one of the big things that, you know, drew him to me, was that we both saw adoption in our future.
Meeting Tiffany, it was something that she wanted to do as well growing up. So when we got together, it was like, okay, that's one day we was gonna adopt.
We didn't know that, you know, 13 years later that it was gonna come true. So after my 2 boys, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going back and doing this again. I'm gonna come back with another boy. I want this girl. So we talked to the boys and we told them, say, hey, you know, do y'all understand what adoption is? And they're like, yeah. And then they was like, oh, yeah, mommy, you know, we're fine with you adopting. And I was like, okay, so do y'all want a boy or a girl? And they both was like, we want a girl. I was like, good, because we want a girl too.
They was just as excited as we were. You know, they was all for it. They was like, oh, can we get a girl? You know, I want a little sister and stuff like that. They started to save some of their old toys for these little sisters. Like, oh, we gonna save this for the new baby and stuff like that.
When we first expressed interest in adoption, they were like, you have some control over this process too. Before we even submitted anything, they sat down with us and went through like the process. But then they also were very patient with us to say, you know, we're not gonna rush you through this process and, you know, rush you through the application. You take your time. When you're ready, you know, we'll be here.
I was thinking, okay, we can go get on the list and then it'll be a couple of years before we actually adopt the baby. But it went fast, everything. Like paperwork, the whole process went smoothly. Only problem would probably be that we weren't as ready as we thought we were, you know, because it went so fast.
We just kind of felt very welcomed and that they were gonna just really guide us through the process.
God blessed us to be able to adopt. You know, everybody who wants to don't have the opportunity to adopt. They don't have the means to do it, but He blessed us with those means, so, you know, it was like, okay, let's do it.
She felt that we could provide her with the nurturing and the home that at that time, you know, from talking to her, that she could not provide. And who's that?
Mama, Mommy.
And who is that?
Daddy.
And who is that?
Peyton.
It was like winning the lottery, you know, it was like, oh, okay.
Her birth mom picked us. She was so nice to us in asking us what we wanted.
I mean, it was like, oh, that's my baby. You know, it was like, oh, you know, it's like, I don't know, it just had an instant connection. It felt no different from the boys when they were born.
You know what? I still cried tears of joy just like my biological kids. I got to cut the cord and they passed her to me and I got to do skin to skin and hold her.
Continued smiling when I held her, my baby girl. To this day, that's how I feel about her.
I mean, she asked us what name we wanted. Sometimes I forget that I didn't that she's not biological.
She changed my life for the better. Like, I couldn't imagine, you know, life without her now. Like, she made a, you know, wonderful addition in everybody's lives.
I just think that it's, you know, also helping to teach my kids a valuable lesson about, you know, the values of family and what really makes a family. Loving and caring about somebody is what really makes a family. St. Elizabeth treated us very well. They were very supportive. They guided us through the entire process.
The mom was getting counseling throughout the process and even after the birth and stuff like that. And I think that was, you know, great that they did that because they, you know, they need it.
From the beginning to the end and even post-adoption, They are still there, available. They reach out to us for all kinds of events. And I feel like they're like a little piece of our extended family because they play such a big role in extending our family.